In some memory, and a coso, in election year, ama or minimum ayashi parties in the Bianca was a parties in the Bri, a woman, in NPP, any NDC, and HC at 2 Mundi, Debia than some for Fra, a betuja, a for home. Every sample in some be air coso, Nina fa, in a papa, Richie, Japa, or ye ni now or no, and HS or din some be a tuja abra. Okopi mo eye Jàil TV na ensema eye Richie Japa edi tuja na ebusiafo eseweni ensese yekachro efa NDC party ne ho no sisi ano debia no mekase ensam no ebi omna se atini se ya eya ye hu se ne yebeka obeti ase eno ase besweni dim no aka ho ni nyina yakwaje ensam no ntwemu ni yewia asansa ba abeti ho enkomo Debia dane in some for a better Kintu TV. Ntikivit Kintu TV, nya assembly say, yes, it's an elbow. It's your was say, if you show me who's some way, a no crack, and sunny a bro. No swing your beauty and woman your so, a wo omagana, any we are say afternoon. Miss Winnie them saying a new face the whatever Kintu TV song. Meso services Kawam and wash out or other platform no comments or comment section. I say, and more visitors so we good education mental. A man simply a broken to TV. Why first person now when you're in Sammy beauty, no way who near coso, or magana, and we are say afternoon. Mempress one or the Facamel, name new million, you go more a year, Richie Japa, Akache in summer, or duty to ja efa NDC party no, and some no I will magana.
Not at all. If he knows very well that no recording in the face was done in his house, that one he's 100% sure about that. And then he also knows that when I made the first allegation in court, I never mentioned his name. It is rather the Attorney General and his media surrogates that brought his name up. And then, because you see, they were preempting.
But did he know that you had recorded the Attorney General?
Yeah, I told him. In fact,
before the recording was made public?
Before the phone was made public, they had already, the attorney, when I made the first, I gave the first teaser in court, the Attorney General got in touch with him and complained to him that I had recorded him in his house because he knew we'd be meeting there. So the justice called me, my cousin called me that, the Attorney General complained that we've recorded him in my house. And I said, no. All this time, I had not yet released
the recording.
The recording had already been released. So the Attorney General was preempting. And because he's been meeting me there for all this while, he thought that was where the recording was done. And then he knew he was calling me on WhatsApp. And for him, recording couldn't be done on WhatsApp because it's encrypted. But it's just because he doesn't understand technology and it's not in my field. So he thought it must be in Justice Kulendi's house and nowhere else, because he never called me direct phone except through WhatsApp. And that place, it couldn't be recorded, that to him. So he confronted Justice Kulendi, who also called me. I went to the house and I told him the truth. Because Justice Kulendi, we are cousins. I can't go and lie to him. He's my blood. I must tell him the truth, 100%. He can be angry with me, we'll have our problem, but we are blood, we continue moving together. So I told him the truth that, look, I never did this in your house. And I can never do that in your house. And he said, did you record him? I said, yes, I recorded him. And I recorded him on my way to my lawyer. So that recording is with me. And there are other recordings not in your house. Not in your house at all.
And these are the ones you said that because of national security, you will not make it up.
Yeah, there are other communications and other things. I'm not going to, it's out. No. So I told him the truth. And he said, okay. So I said, so tell them that no recording was done in your house. You are not involved in anything. You have been kind to him, and he's been using your house to pursue his agenda.
So this hasn't affected relationship at all?
It cannot.
You made the recording available to the NDC. Why? Are you a member of the NDC?
Well, I'm a sympathizer of the NDC, and I've been an operative for the NDC for years.
So you're a member of the NDC?
I'm a member.
A card-bearing member?
Not a card-bearing member. As I told, I'm not
in 2008, you played an active role in the affairs of the NDC.
Yes, of course.
You were a member of the team that was in the EC strong room when the late Miss was bidding to become president.
Yes,
that should make you a very key member of the NDC.
Yes, as I told you, it's because of this case that I'm on the limelight. I operate behind the scene. I'm a covert operative. I will have people who are on air, who are card-bearing members. They do their political things. I don't do politics. I'm an operative, an intelligence guy. I operate behind the scene. That is my job. I don't like the limelight, but this case has now brought me out. So,
but
yes,
you that you are a member of the NDC.
I'm a sympathizer
and that
of the.
explains why you decided to give.
I'm a sympathizer of the NDC. That's how I would describe myself. And the strong room you are talking about, yes, indeed, yes. Roger Metilninu and myself were represented at Amels in the strong room in 2008.
Few months after being discharged from the Ghana military.
No, I was discharged in 2007.
2007.
Election was
in 2008.
2008 December, about 1.5 years. So that is completely different.
But 1.5 years to be to be trusted with the responsibility of managing the results of the presidential elections, that obviously means that your relationship with the NDC back then was so tight that they could trust you with that responsibility.
It's because NDC has its appendage from the PNDC. And my father was very instrumental in PNDC. In fact, he was one of those who they went and released Rawlings from jail. And from there, he became the Armed Forces Secretary for the Committee for the Defense of the Revolution. They defended the AFC. They defended the revolution until the 92, we moved into democracy. And they continued until 2000. So he was an integral part of the survival of the revolution. You understand? And into NDC. So it's a family issue.
It runs through the blood.
It runs through the blood. So you cannot jettison Japa from NDC. It's just not possible.
Yet you've taken on people like the late Sherry Ayite and, of course, the former finance minister, Tepe. You've described them as evils. Why?
Because they were not thinking about the general interest of Ghanaians because we didn't have ambulance. And Ghanaians needed ambulance. And they were thinking about their personal interest.
Explain further.
Further, because Sherry Ayite, for instance, said, I should tell my principal to come and meet her halfway. And I said, what do you mean by halfway? And she said, oh, you're a businessman. You should know when someone tells you to meet him halfway, you should understand. So go and tell them.
Did she explain the meaning of halfway?
That's what she said.
Just now you pay bribes?
She said, no, she didn't tell me bribes. All that she said was that, tell your principals to come and meet me halfway. If they want
what understanding did you get from that?
If they want this ambulance project to go through. And I told her that, I used to call her Ma. And I said, Ma, you are Minister of Environment. By the time you came, this contract had already been signed and was already moving on. Yours is just to send the team to go and inspect in fulfillment of the pre-shipment inspection clause. And governance is continuum. So you must send them. He said, Japa, I am not interested. Tell your principal that they should come down and come and meet me halfway. They should come and renegotiate and meet me halfway. And I said, what do you mean by halfway? He said, you're a businessman. You should understand when someone tells you meet him halfway.
She expected you to understand
halfway. That coded language. No,
but as an intelligence officer, that should come very naturally to you.
Pardon?
That you'll be able to, decode the meaning of halfway and then,
Well, and so long as I was concerned, there was no halfway
to be met.
Because her predecessors never met my principals or me halfway. In fact, the contract was signed by Honam Bagbin. Bagbin never demanded any halfway meeting.
The current Speaker of Parliament.
The current Speaker of Parliament. Not even a CD. Nothing for you to even interpret in that angle. He just did his work.
So by your suggestion, Sherry was demanding bribes?
Per my suggestion, well, that was the interpretation I was getting. That meet me halfway, you're a businessman. When someone tells you, you should understand what the person wants. That's what she said. It was a coded language. So, and I understood it from that angle. And I said, Ma, there's no halfway to meet you. They said, okay, fine. Then she walked away out of her office. So I followed her up. So that is where the issue started.
Right.
By that time, she had already written her letter to my principals. That they should stop productions and then, they should come for renegotiation. It was all in tandem of meeting her halfway. But you see, I told her, I said, Ma, one thing you must understand. You as a minister, you don't have the authority to just cancel a contract or suspend a contract without recourse to the contract terms of termination or suspension. That is one. And if you are no longer interested in the contract, this contract went to Parliament, went to Cabinet, raise a memo back to Cabinet and go and explain to Cabinet why you don't want this. And when Cabinet gives you approval, you can go ahead. But on your own, you can't vary an internationally binding contract.
Already agreed upon.
Agreed upon, and production is going on. Monies have been committed by the supplier because there's no advance payment. So the supplier had to go and get his own loan to start production. And then you didn't even consult the Attorney General's office to give you advice on this letter you've written. And you on your own, you said this is stop production and that they should come for renegotiation. On what basis? He said, Jakpa, don't wear this your cap and come and be telling me law. You know, come and teach me law over here.
And then said Tepe?
No, that was Sharaite for you. Sir Tepe's own was very simple. After the approval by Parliament,